For those wondering how quickly we were aware of just how bad this was going to get and how this may have been a setup from day one regarding October 7th. This is a statement that Jen put out 3 days after October 7th, 2023.
Taught Palestinians that wasn't a thing. We were discouraged from using that term. We were taught that Palestine wasn't a real place. It was never legitimate until it was the state of Israel. All of the people in the area were referred to as Arabs. We were taught that Arabs were less civilized, were filthy, and that they hated Jews and wanted to kill Jews, like indoctrinated from a very young age. This level of Zionism is what is still governing people like my congresswoman, and I see them put out.
I also want to point out, for those of you who are not familiar with us and are becoming familiar with us, Jen ran for Congress in 2020 against Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and we had a pretty good showing for a campaign that never got the proper support that it should have gotten. We ran a hell of a race, and we got just under 30% of the vote for a first-time candidate. We weren't sure if it made sense to go again, and so we started building out a podcast. But Jen decided to run again in 24, knowing full well that she very likely couldn't beat Debbie, but that we needed to use our platform to get the word out there about what was happening. Jen did not decide to run for Congress again until after October 7th, 2023, and the efforts that Wasserman Schultz has put forward alongside Netanyahu. And you want to talk about one of Netanyahu's closest confidants in all of politics? This is her. Debbie Wasserman Schultz, she is as high up on the totem pole with Netanyahu as it can possibly get. And all you have to do is look up as many of the congressional publicity photos that Netanyahu has taken, and who is usually standing next to him? This person right here. And so Jen thought it was necessary to step into the ring and use the platform as best as she could to draw attention to the realities of the Zionist genocidal movement. And she did a hell of a job.
This sort of sentiment that is just so unbelievably ignorant. Anybody in Congress, anybody with a platform, anybody who has access to information at this point and does not acknowledge the Nakba, that Israel is an illegal occupation, that they're in violation of international law, and just keeps waving their Israeli flag, they are one of two things. They're either being willfully ignorant or they're lying. That's it.
And to think, this was done almost 2 years ago. I couldn't be prouder to call Jen a friend as well as a partner. I've been running this podcast for a number of years. We have never, it's incredible. You know, depending on how this live stream goes tonight, and clearly it's the biggest live stream we've ever done, we might actually secure in one night, the same amount of subscribers that we were able to ascertain over a 2-year period. From, I believe, February of 21 through March of 23, we had 1,500 subscribers that got added to our channel. We might get another 1,500 tonight. So to say that we are grateful for all of you being here would be an understatement. If there is one thing I can promise you about our channel that will be different than any other channel that you will see, especially if a crowd is this big, do you know who gets live stream viewers at this number? This is what 50 to 100,000 subscriber channels gets. We will forever be grateful that you are here. And we try to interact with our audience as much as possible. We don't just look for people to give us money and then we acknowledge that they're here. We want to communicate with as many people as possible. Thank you, Martha. We love that you're here. We love that you're all here. Thank you, Juan, for subscribing. All of you guys. Remember, we cannot do this without you. All of you here makes all the difference. So why do I bring up what I just brought up about Jen and about October 7th and what has happened with the Palestinian people? As you know, it has been an absolute nightmare of epic proportions watching this all unfold over the past several, well, in this case, 2 years. The absolute systemic decimation, genocidal activity of Israel onto the Palestinian people, which, as far as I can tell, was planned, much like 9/11, much like a lot of other circumstances in our past. Remember, Lincoln's best saying, in my opinion, was this: you can fool some of the people all the time. You can fool all the people some of the time. You cannot fool all the people all of the time. Many people have been fooled for far too long, and they are now recognizing just how detrimental it is that we have a relationship with this so-called greatest ally. They are not our greatest ally. They are our greatest detriment. And we are going to fall as a result. And all the while that the Palestinian children's blood had been spilled day after day, night after night, month after month. I mean, that's when the end of our relationship should have happened, as Uncle Ned points out. That's when it should have ended. And now you get this shit. The IDF puts out a tweet last night saying Israeli citizens are currently being targeted by the Iranian regime. The world cannot stay silent. Well, maybe you shouldn't have bombed Tehran in the first place. Maybe that was a pretty stupid move on your part. So they bomb Tehran. Did they just expect that they weren't going to respond? That they were just going to take it? Or are they really counting on our president to say, oh, we're totally supporting you. We're going to give you everything you want, and we're totally on board. The United States will back Israel from now until the end of time. I don't know, guys. I don't think it's going to happen. I think they've backed themselves into a corner, and they're not going to get out of it. What about all these targets that were in Gaza and the West Bank over the past 2 years? How about that? Do you think that was ever a story? We pleaded forever to listen to those children's cries. I just finished reading this book. If I Must Die by Rifat El-Arir. What a time to bring it up. The last thing he talked about before he was bombed and killed: the Democratic Party and Biden are responsible for the Gaza genocide perpetrated by Israel. That was his last transcript before he was killed December 4th, 2023. If you're not familiar with Rifat El-Arir, please check him out. All the things that Trump is doing now has been set up by the Democratic Party and the very system that allowed Trump to get into the presidency in the first place. That's why we're here. The Israel lobby spent $250 million on paper, because we all know about shit that goes on that you can't see. $250 million on the election, because we're not pro-Israel enough. While those children screamed and cried and prayed for some type of a resolution to their circumstance. And there was only so much that we could do, so much that we tried to do to help them, and we couldn't. And it kills me. And unfortunately, most of them are going to die. We cannot let them die in vain. There must be retribution for what has happened. We cannot ignore this. And this is part of that retribution. So I have zero sympathy. Zero. And you know the irony of all of this, guys? This is one of the people that decided to get in front of a camera last night in lieu of the retaliatory, not unprovoked, but the retaliatory response from Iran attacking Tel Aviv. You know, the irony of this person crying those pathetic tears is that she admits on camera that she was just given a home. Not that she bought it, but that it was given to her. The psychosis that Zionists go through, thinking that this stolen land belongs to them because somebody wrote it in a book 5,000 years ago, whatever the fuck it was. They took the home that was given to me and was taken from a Palestinian family because it belongs to us. Absolutely incredible. The lack of self-awareness that these people have knows no bounds. They really have no idea how stupid they look, how much everyone hates their guts, and what we must do, what is of immense importance on our part, guys. This is our job. The conflation between Zionism and Judaism. That has to change. That is our job. The Zionists want the equation of Zionism and Judaism to be one and the same. There is no separation. There is no gray area. What is one is the other. Forever. We cannot allow that to happen. We must cut ties with this genocidal nation that has had control over our government and with it, our way of life for far too long. Why do you think the Epstein files haven't been released? Why do you think the JFK files haven't been released? Most of the people that were involved, especially with the JFK assassination, they're all dead. Or could it be that there is information pertaining to that assassination that still has relevance today that has nothing to do with a person, but with an entity? We talk about a number of different topics on this channel, and we will continue to. But this is the issue of our time. We must disintegrate this relationship as soon as possible. Trump will go the way of JFK, potentially, if he severs the relationship with Israel. But what I will tell you, and I mean this, if Trump dissolves the Israel-US relationship, because that is essentially what we're facing here, guys. The disintegration of that relationship is on the precipice right now because of the fact that Iran is attacking Tel Aviv. The Israel lobby is demanding that the United States declare war on Iran. And if that happens, Russia will declare war on the United States, and we are in World War III. And then China gets involved, and India gets involved. I'm telling you, it's bricks. That's what's going to happen. This is an incredibly, incredibly precarious situation that we're facing right now. I don't have a lot of faith that Trump is going to do the right thing. But he is our president, and I hope he does. This can get really good, really fast, or it could get really bad, really fast. Incredible. I mean, that person really thought that they were entitled to somebody else's property. It's just like that fat fuck who was out there a few years ago. He's like, well, if I don't get this property, somebody else is going to get it, so I'm going to take it from you. Very nonchalant. No big deal. This belongs to me now. Jen has a great word, caucasity. The caucasity of the Zionist movement. And boy, oh boy, do they have a lot of it. They got a lot of it, baby. No qualms, no hesitation. Stay vigilant. While everyone is out there putting up a tweet saying no kings, we should be putting up a tweet, no war with Iran. If there is no, we don't even need to say no more support for Israel. It's simply no war with Iran. Israel is backing itself into a corner that they're not going to get out from. They have in many ways sealed their fate. And I'm not even sure if we get involved, it's going to save it. Just the fact that Netanyahu fled tells you all you need to know.